Hey folks, this is Pastor Jim from Crosspoint Church in Bettendorf, Iowa. Although most of us have the experiences of having these mountaintop moments with God that are spiritually formative to us, most of our lives are lived a bit in the valley, aren't they? Another way of saying that is most of our lives are mundane. It's not to say that they're dull or tedious and boring. It's to say that they're earthbound. There's not a lot of spiritual revelation in the day-to-day things of our lives. The story of Ehud is one of those mundane stories. Ehud was the second judge of the nation of Israel that God raised up to deliver them out of their second cycle of disobedience. And what happens is, because of the disobedience of Israel, God has given power to King Eglon, an obese, powerful Moabite king, who rallies the Ammonites and the Amalekites to go to war against Israel. They take the region of Jericho, which, as you remember, was Israel's first major victory, and they begin to demand a heavy tribute on the nation of Israel. For 18 years, they're under this oppressive rule of King Eglon. So the Israelites send Ehud to deliver the tribute to King Eglon. Ehud is a left-handed assassin from the tribe of Benjamin. Ehud releases the rest of the men that are on the trip to deliver the tribute, and he tells King Eglon, "I have a message from God for you." King Eglon, in all of his hubris, he sends all of his attendants and security away, and now it's just Ehud and King Eglon in the king's upper chambers. Ehud comes close to Eglon to deliver the message to him, and as he does so, he pulls out a dagger that he had hid inside of his clothing and stabs the king into his enormous belly. The fat closes over the weapon so that Ehud can't extract it. The king's bowels explode, and King Eglon dies. Ehud leaves the room, locking the door behind him, and the king's attendants, smelling his evacuated bowels, think that the king is using his private restroom, and so they don't want to disturb him. So after an embarrassingly long time, they finally open the door to discover that the king has been murdered. In the meantime, Ehud has escaped, and he's announced that King Eglon is dead. He rallies the nation of Israel, and they drive out the Moabites. 10,000 soldiers die. A great victory for the nation of Israel. Now, there's not very much spiritual about this story. In fact, it's earthy, it's mundane. There's no divine call of Ehud. There's no spiritual empowerment of the Spirit of God coming upon him, as we saw with Othniel, the first judge, the first deliverer of Israel. There's no divine intervention in the war strategy or in the war implementation, as we saw with Joshua. In fact, there's no consultation at all with God. We never see God speaking or giving instructions or anything like that. So the whole story is just very earthy, from the way Ehud sneaks in. He hides a dagger. He tricks the attendants. He stabs King Eglon. King Eglon's bowels releasing. Everything is just earthy and mundane. But when we look at the story thousands of years removed, we can see that God's hand is all over it in sort of these small ways. How he delivered power to Eglon, how he raised up Ehud, how he allowed Ehud to sneak in a weapon into the king's upper chambers, and how then he used the king's death to rally the nation and to bring deliverance. And so even though it's hard to see it at a ground level, when you step back from it, you can see God's hand all over it. Most of our lives are lived in the day-to-day moments, and even though we're not going to be called, at least I don't think that we will, most of us won't be called to assassinate a Moabite king in his upper chambers, still we live our lives in the day-to-day mundane, earthy moments. We get up, we go to work, we mow our lawns, we go shopping, we do the laundry, we have to wash dishes, we even change a poopy diaper or two. That's just life, isn't it? And if we're honest, sometimes we would say, where is God in all of this? But the trick to being a kingdom person is seeing the hand of God in all of these day-to-day mundane elements of our life. We're going to learn more about it this Sunday at 9:15 and 11. I hope you can make it. I think you'll be glad that you did. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then.